Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and yet again in the same day, I have to do a video that I really just don't want to do. And if you saw my walk and talk earlier, rather my sit down and chat, um, I got to tell you, I already saw how quickly the Dayton, Ohio Police Department has been on top of what happened there, and a huge tragedy. I mean, within a blink of an eye, 9 people are dead. Okay, and more injured, and we'll see what happens. But I want to commend the police because today, all right, literally this afternoon, much less than 12 hours, I believe, right after the event, maybe a little bit more, less than 24 for sure. We already had a police chief that was ready to
The diagram.
Again, I really don't want to show all of it, but laid out here was the suspect's vehicle. This is where he took the first lives, and this is where he took more, and this is where he's done. Okay? Now, there can be no doubt that this is a real event, and people need to understand that there's cameras everywhere here, and this was a populated area. So, again, they did the right thing here, and he came out, and he showed, I mean, they gave right up front. He tells there's not going to be anything gross, but you can see people running. You can actually see the police run in and take him down. 100% take him down. And once again, there's so much cameras, so many people out and about. I've heard no reports of multiple shooters, et cetera, et cetera. There are no anomalies here that I can tell other than the fact that this person was crazy, and crazy is a real thing. And how did people deal with this crazy? Because he was, I mean, again, if you want to see what happened, I really don't want to, I'll jump in between parts here. But that's him right here. Okay, this is him coming around the corner, and that's the end of him, by the way. And before that, you see police run. There's 2 other cameras. That the guy's in full body armor, and he took the life of his sister, of her boyfriend, and thank God the police, they're brave, man. You can see in these videos, again, I don't want to show too much of it because whatever, but you can see gunfire coming off the pavement. He's firing into a crowded, populated, popular bar street. Can you imagine being out with your friends? And I want to, again, reiterate this. This happened late last night. I think I saw an alert for it around 11:30. It probably, I was a little bit behind, but let's say 10:30 is when the first reports came out. Again, in less than 24 hours, there's a police chief that's showing you that his department was super effective. I mean, within a minute, they killed this guy. 100% took him out. Couldn't kill anybody else. And it's scary how quick and efficient this crazy person was. I'm not going to lie. It shakes me. Again, we did a whole video on El Paso and some of the past shootings that have had questionable narratives. But please go to Dayton Police Chief released a surveillance video. Says shooter bought gun online. So go check that out for sure. And they've identified him, but I'm not going to talk about him. I can't. It's unbelievable. He was wearing body armor, had additional high-capacity magazines. Again, the police need to be commended for this. And, Time has a whole thing. It's got everybody that they know that's a victim. But I think it's important to talk about this because how many, crisis actor narratives are out there right now? Let's see. The narrative is controlled opposition in Texas. Obviously, Ohio wasn't. I mean, I'm looking at the evidence right now, and I don't know what happened in either place 100%. But I got to tell you, and by the way, thank you so much, Flickoff, for the super chat. I got to tell you guys that it does nobody a service to start talking about things they have no idea about. And once again, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've been out with friends in situations like this. Austin, Texas is a gorgeous place. I mean, is this the next thing that we're going to have to start worrying about? Just people going in full board, suicide squad? because that's what this was. I mean, this person had to know there were police everywhere on this corner, okay? And again, 1 minute, it took them 1 minute to take 9 lives. That's frightening. I'm not going to lie. And injure many others, probably change worlds. I mean, he changed worlds, guys. And, you know, what do you say to that? And right away, I hear people start talking about drills and crisis actors. And, you know, I'm all for looking into reality because drills have been used to cover false flag events. And it does suck that all of a sudden there's leaked FBI documents just before this lumping all sorts of narratives as conspiracy theories and therefore possible domestic terrorists. And we read that entire document on there. And I know that they're associating the El Paso shooter with QAnon, etc. And everybody out there who's watched my programs know how I feel about Q, but I don't think that anybody should be labeled a terrorist for believing in it. And then for talking about a quote-unquote New World Order and that idea and globalization, etc. It's like, well, where's the line? Because, you know, I put a film out in 2010. You can see it here. It's on my page. You know, I put out everything for free. All right, go to my playlist, actually, if you want to skip over from just my videos. And if you go into my documentaries right here, you know, you'll be able to see Shade, Invisible Empire, Fabled Enemies. The other thing is that, well, if you talk about false flags, well, Fabled Enemies talks about an international intelligence operation in 9/11. So once again, when you start muddying the waters and just calling everything wrong and, you know, I know that these are actors, et cetera, this is an op. This, you know, once again, this person in 1 minute, full body armor, already cameras everywhere. The police, I mean, you watch those police go in, ballsy. They should be commended. And that's another thing. You know, let's get into that because I want to make this abundantly clear. Crazy exists. It 100% exists. It's never not existed. It's not going away. Crazy sometimes has no boundaries. And when we live in a ever more self-centered sociopathic society, when crazy people, sociopaths, go over the edge, and they also happen to be, I don't know, suicidal, because they're on psychotropic drugs. All these weird psychotropic drugs, you know, even non-psychotropic drugs, things like, I hear Chantix, suicidal thoughts or actions. Like, what do you mean? Suicidal thoughts or actions? But then you don't care about yourself, and a lot of people have heard, quote-unquote, suicide by cop. Now people are going all out. They're going all out. And it is a mental health issue. And I think it is somewhat poisonous to have this device in your face all the time. Okay? You know, yesterday I did give it a breather. In fact, what I've been doing yesterday and today, I was setting up, and I've been doing that. I've been taking in my old DV tapes. See that? That's Bilderberg 2012 there. Some more Bilderberg 2012. I got some Tarpley in there. If you guys know about my Albany Airport, I got that. And what I'm doing is I'm digitizing all this stuff, and I'm going to go through, and I'm going to make, presentations from speeches by G. Edward Griffin that are older, et cetera, and intertwine them with stories then and now and show the progression. And I'm going to put them out and take some days off away from the camera because I need a break too. I don't love it all the time. I love bringing this information. I love talking to you guys. I love getting it out. But at the same time, people that are like snapping every 2 seconds and like telling their stories online. I don't do that. I keep this kind of as a program. The walk and talk, sure, and I definitely let people into my life, but to me that's just being genuine. There's plenty that goes on in my day. I'm not snapping my food and putting it out in public, and I'm not playing video games, online, and not that there's anything wrong with those things, but you get my drift. So there's a time, I think, to take a break from that stuff because it can get in your head. And unfortunately, again, when it's such a self-centered depressed society, when people don't have a purpose. You know, a lot of younger people, they don't feel like they have a purpose. They feel like they're too good for stuff, but at the same time, there is no drive, right? And then you put these kids on a cocktail of drugs, and you're just kind of trying stuff out. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. And I'm so sick of this being politicized, and, you know, they were watching this video or that video. And, you know, now we have this, again, leaked FBI document. If true, we can assume that at least some of the material was garnered from 2008 all the way to 2019. And I have every belief this thing is true. All those people saying it's a hoax, I have no idea what leg you have to stand on. In fact, if you haven't seen that video, let's go back over here, guys, because we're doing a lot of them. But if you haven't seen this one right here, you are the enemy for watching this. It's a must-watch. That's the whole document, back to front. It's not the talking points. We do deep dives here because it's important. And with that being said, guys, again, we got to have discernment. Please go check out Dayton Police Chief releases surveillance video, says shooter bought gun online. And just watch all that surveillance video. And again, how quickly the cops were all over this situation. Because you remember, a lot of these mass shootings, they last a long time. There is suspicion. It takes a long time for the surveillance footage to come out, et cetera, et cetera. Things get classified, taken over by the FBI, et cetera. This is a really quick and I think, you know, thorough presentation of the facts that we know. So, guys, if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter. I do a little bit over there. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, join the Bermas Brigade, thumbs this video up, share it with others. We're not about left or right here. We don't play into the partisan politics and the bullshit, okay? We're in on the truth, and, you know, I'm giving you my true take on all this stuff. And believe me, I'll look into the nitty-gritty. I thank you guys all for your support out there. I have a GoFundMe. This is how we're doing it. We're a little over halfway there. We're not quite halfway to the goal, but I believe we're going to get there because we're doing 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 videos a day. And before we close it out tonight, later on, I will be doing that Linda Collins Smith mystery update as promised. With that being said, I love you guys, and I will see you all on the flip side.